Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're implementing RevenueCat, a powerful tool to integrate in-app purchases and subscriptions in your Expo application. Instead of dealing natively with in-app purchases and subscriptions for each store, we can just use RevenueCat, which provides a cross-platform SDK that allows you to just build your application. So in today's video, we're going to learn how to connect Google and Apple developer account to your RevenueCat account, and then how to manage and integrate it into your Expo application. So let's take a look at how in-app purchases work and how we can implement them in our Expo application. Let's get started. You're gonna need a couple of things before diving into this tutorial. If you are targeting just one platform, it's totally okay. You can just do this for iOS or Android, but we're gonna be covering both in this video. So you're gonna need an Apple developer account, a Google Play developer account, Google Cloud Console access. This is because we're gonna need to create some credentials to connect RevenueCat to our Google Play account. Of course, you're gonna need a RevenueCat account and an Expo account. You can create one at expo.dev. It's totally free. And this is because we're gonna be using EAS Build to create our builds and then put them in the stores so that we can start creating the product and subscriptions that we're going to be offering. I implemented in-app purchases not long ago using RevenueCat, and I can tell you that 99% of the work, it's actually just getting these accounts connected. So I'll try to cover everything step by step. If you are just targeting what platform, feel free to skip. I'm going to be adding some timestamps down here. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Let's take a look at the app that I'm going to be using for this video. It's a super simple application. The name is Mystery Cat. And it basically allows users to reveal a cat picture if they are subscribed to my application, okay? So in this case, we are not subscribed, as you can see, and we don't see anything. It's just locked. And when I press unlocked cat, it takes me to the paywall. This is a fully custom screen. I actually created it using AI, so I didn't do anything, but it's just dummy data as of now. I'm going to be offering a $4.99 per month subscription. And once users subscribe via RevenueCat, they are going to be able to see the cat. So right now, we are not doing anything, just navigating back. But I have this debug button at the end that says toggle subscription on and off. So let's see how this would look once users subscribe to the application. Basically allows them to fetch a cat and see the picture. And that's it. So we can turn this off. So at this point, I would assume that everyone already has their application and some idea of what kind of subscription or in-app purchases you want to integrate. So once you have your application, the next thing that we need to do is install the RevenueCat package for purchases. The name is React Native Purchases. The way you install this in your React Native Expo application is by saying npx expo install and then React Native Purchases. So if I hit enter, it's not going to do anything because I already have it installed. But keep in mind that once you install this package, you're going to need to create a development build. You cannot use Expo in this case because React Native Purchases has some custom native code that needs to be compiled. So after installing React Native Purchases, keep in mind that you need to use a development build. By the way, I also installed Expo Dev Client. This is because it allows you to, when you start the server, automatically use the development build server in here. So once we install React Native Purchases, we're ready to build our application and get it to the store so that we can start creating products and subscriptions for this application on their respective stores. So for that, let's use EAS. I'm going to say EAS Build and hit enter. If this is the first time that you are doing this, just go ahead and select yes for everything. I'm going to leave another video down here in case you are not familiar with EAS that is going to guide you on how to create a production build for Android and iOS. I'm going to leave the link in the description, but it's basically just running EAS Build once you log in into your Expo account. And I'm going to select all platforms because I want to build this for Android and iOS. And this is going to reutilize my credentials. If this is the first time that you are running this command, it's just a matter of hitting enter and selecting the defaults or setting your custom values if you want to. I'm going to log in into my Apple developer account. So just by hitting enter, it's going to restore my previous session and it's fetching my stuff. And after a moment, it is in progress. So I can now go to my EAS dashboard and my project is called Unlock the Cats. So I have these two builds, production ones. Let's select the Android. And the first thing that I'm going to do is just cancel the build. The reason for that is because I actually created a build yesterday because this is going to take like 10 minutes. So I don't want to be waiting here with you guys 10 minutes before I can actually upload this. So if I go back now, these two are canceled and I created these two yesterday. And let's go ahead and create our Android application first. So what I'm going to do is come here and download my AAB file. This is going to put it on my downloads. There we go. And then let's go to the Google Play developer. All right. And this is my account. This is how it looks. I have a little issue there. I need to provide some information about my payments, but that's okay. Hopefully that's not a blocker for us. What I'm going to do now is just go ahead and create a new application. So by pressing this create app button, I'm going to call it Unlock the Cat. It's going to be United States. This is an app and it's going to be free. And if I keep scrolling down, confirm that app meets the developer program policies and accept the US export laws. Let's go ahead and create the application. All right, so now we need to upload our artifact that we created on EAS Build here. Let's go ahead and hide this. And on the left, I'm going to go to test and release, select internal testing. Oops, you can see it here under testing, select internal testing. And then I'm going to just create a new release. Now I need to drag and drop my bundle. So let's go to the downloads and I'm just going to drag this in here. I'm going to cancel this. And we can now close this in here. And once we have it in here, Google Play is going to allow us to create products for this application. I'm going to say first release, and then we can add some release notes. Okay, after a moment, it finished loading. Now I can just press next. Okay, and then save and publish. Save and publish. Okay, now it is available for internal testing. All right, next, what I want to do is create my subscription. So at the very end, we have monetize with Play, and maybe I can make this a bit bigger so that everyone can see. And we have products, app pricing, in-app products, and subscriptions. So if you have in-app products, go ahead and create products here. In this case, I only have an offering, which is subscription. So let's go to subscriptions in here, and let's create a subscription. I'm going to press this button. I need to provide a subscription ID. So I recommend using something related to your product. So in this case would be Cat Monthly, for example, right? Cat Monthly. And the name could be Premium Cats. This is what users will see. So let's go ahead and create this simple subscription. And now we need to fill this information. So we need to add the subscription benefits. So if you take a look at my application, you get unlimited cat photos. That's one of the benefits. So we can just press here and say unlimited cat photos, no ads ever. And of course, you can add more benefits depending on what you're offering. This is not shown to the user, so I'm just going to skip it. I'm going to leave this standard here for tax and compliance programs. I'm going to press save. All right, now let's go back to subscriptions again. And now I have my premium cats. Let's select this one. Now I need to add a base plan. The base plan is going to be called default, auto renewing monthly, and a grace period of 7 days. So this is in case the payment of the user fails. We are going to give them 7 days to fix that. Otherwise, we are going to cancel their cats. Account hold period, 30 days. I would recommend just leaving the defaults here. And then if I keep scrolling down, we can also add some tags and then price and availability. So let's set the prices. So what we can do here is just select everything and set the price. I'm gonna be charging, is it $4.99? So $4.99 per month. Let's update. Okay, cool. And now you can see how much you're gonna be getting for each country, right? So $4.99 in Australia is going to be $8.49. Let's press save and let's activate this base plan. All right, let's go back to subscriptions. Okay, so we have successfully created our subscription for our Android app. Now I'm gonna go to the RevenueCat documentation. And if you click on the SDK Quick Start here, you can find instructions of what we just did, which is just creating a subscription for our application. And I'm gonna go to the part of configuring products and entitlements in RevenueCat. So we have created our subscription. Now we need to create an entitlement. An entitlement is a product that the user is entitled, right? That they have access. So we need to do this on the RevenueCat account. So let's click on the RevenueCat link. If you haven't, just go ahead and create an account. I'm gonna log in. I already have mine. So this is my account. This is how it looks. I was working on my course app and also this other project that you can see here. But to start fresh, what I'll do is just create a new project. And I'm gonna be calling this Cats Video and create a project. This is basically my application, right? And in here, I'm gonna create a new entitlement. So on the left, let's select product catalog. And in here, you can find the offerings, the products, and the entitlements. In here, I'm gonna create a new entitlement. So I'm going to call this Premium Cats. And the description is going to be Daily Cats and add. Now I need to add products to this entitlement. In this case, it's going to be my only subscription. So let's go to products. And at this point, we need to have an application to create a product. So let's press this button. This is going to take us here where we can connect our applications. So we're going to be doing Android and iOS. Let's select Android for now. This is the one that we're working on. And the name of my app is going to be called Cats Video. And it's asking me for my package. I'm going to make this a bit bigger. The package can be found in the app.json. If you search for package under Android, this is my package. So copy yours and paste it in here. Now it's gonna need a service account credentials JSON. So we need to provide credentials to RevenueCat so that they can do stuff in our behalf on the Google Play Store. Let's go ahead and press on this. How do I create this? This is actually going to take you to this doc where it's going to tell you to go to the Google console. I already have my Google Cloud Console account and this is how it looks. So just to make it super clear, I'm going to create a new project for this video. Let's press on new project and I'm going to be calling this Cat Video and create. This is a personal Google Cloud account. It's going to create this new project. Let's select this project once it's ready. And then we need to go to the Google Play Android Developer API page. So what I'll do is just copy up to the API part, go to my search bar and paste this in here and select the first option. We need to enable this Google Play Android Developer API. And we also need to enable the Google Play Developer Reporting API. So this is already enabled. This is how it looks. Let's go ahead and search for the other one. It is this one. I'm going to enable it. Keep in mind that I'm under the Cat Video project. So this is going to be enabled only for this project. Okay. And that's how it looks. Let's go back to the guide. Once we have that, we need to create a service account, which is step 2. So if I click on the service account, this is going to take me here. I'm going to select my Cat Video. So let's create this service account. I'm going to call this RevenueCat service account, then press create and continue. Now we need to add some permissions. If we go back here, we need to enable PubSub editor. Let's copy this. I'm going to select a role. It's going to be the first one, and then add another row. Let's search. In this case, it's going to be monitoring viewer. Let's copy this, go back, paste it in here, select that. Once we selected those, let's press on continue and just press done. All right, and now we have our service account. Once we have this account, select these little three dots and then click on manage keys. Then click on add key, create a new key, select JSON and press create. Okay, and as you notice, this is going to download a JSON key, and this is actually what we need to pass to RevenueCat in here. So what I'll do is just go to my downloads, grab my cat video JSON key and drop it in here. Okay, and once I do that, I'm going to press save changes. And I got this little warning that says Google Topic ID, Google Cloud pops up API must first be enabled. So let's go back to Google Console. And let's see if I can find this by pasting it. Okay, it's complaining because I need to enable this. So let's press enable. Okay, it is enabled. Let's go back and see if I get the same warning after reloading. Okay, cool. So it looks like it's fixed now. So if I come back, I can see that so it looks like this is not working. Let's go back to the docs. And after we created the service account, we need to grant financial access to RevenueCat. Maybe this is why it's not working. So let's go ahead and do that. We need to go to the Google Play console. Let's go to the Google Play console. I'm going to press on Google Play console icon. This is going to take me to the home page. Then select user and permissions. I'm going to press on invite user, and I need to invite the RevenueCat user. So if you remember when we created this key, let's go to details. When we created the service account, by default, this email is created. So let's copy this email and then let's go back to here and paste this email in here. This is how we invite RevenueCat to do stuff in our behalf on the Google Play console. You can set an expiry date if you want to. And then we need to add permissions and add our application. So for my app, it's going to be unlock the cat and press apply. If you want, you can provide admin permissions, or if you want, you can view app information, read only. So I have here view financial data, view app information, which is the first one, view financial data, and manage orders and subscriptions. Oops, let's go back. Manage orders and subscriptions. So make sure that you select those and press apply and invite user, send invite. Okay, and the invite is being sent. If I come back here and refresh my credentials, if I hover, now these two are working, but our permissions to call subscription API is not working. Alrighty guys, so usually you should be able to see valid credentials here after a moment, but in the worst case, it actually takes, if you go to the troubleshooting and stuff, down here they are telling us that this should take up to 36 hours or 24 hours to be actually reflected and enabled. So what I did right now, it's actually, I was having an issue with, if I hover here, permissions to call subscriptions API was disabled. So I switched to a previous JSON that I created for my course, but I did basically the same thing. So if you have an issue, just wait. Otherwise, just check the troubleshooting guide that they have in here. So once you have everything enabled and the credentials are valid, just go ahead and save the changes. And once we have this, we should be able to create a product for our Android app. So let's go to the product catalog, and then we created our entitlement. There it is. Now we need to create a product. So for my cat's video of my Android app, let's create a new product. And by the way, a cool thing about RevenueCat is that once we connected everything, we can just press import. And this is going to bring all the active products and subscriptions that we define on the Google Play Store. So we can select my only one subscription and import. All right, and now we have it in here. After importing your product, select attach under entitlements, and let's attach the daily cats entitlement. Again, you can think of an entitlement as what the user has access to. So if the user buys the daily cats, they will be entitled to have daily cats, right? So we can attach this to this product. And at this point, we have successfully created our product and entitlement for Android. Now let's do the same for iOS. So I'm gonna go back to the quick start section in the docs. And instead of doing Google Play this time, let's do App Store Connect. So let's press on this guide. So first of all, we need to, of course, have an Apple developer account, and we need to somehow bring our application to the App Store Connect. So let's go to the App Store Connect. Okay, I'm going to sign in and I'm going to go to my applications. So if you look at my applications, I don't have my new Cats app, right? So let's actually get my application here to the App Store Connect. So if I go to the code, if you remember, we created a build for iOS and we created a build for Android. So what I want to do is take that build, the one that we have in the Expo dashboard. If I go to my build, we created an iOS build as well. This is the one that I created yesterday. It's an IPA. It's optimized for production. So what I want to do here is get this into my App Store Connect account. So we can do that through the EAS CLI. I'm gonna say EAS submit platform iOS and hit enter. This is going to ask me which build I want to submit. So I'm going to select one from EAS. And as you notice, it's just selecting the one that I created 15 hours ago. I don't have any other build, so let's select this one and I need to sign in to my Apple developer account. So, okay. And as you notice, after running the command, this is going to create a new application for me on App Store Connect. It's asking me to generate a new App Store Connect API key. Let's say yes. And after a moment, this is going to start submitting my application. Okay. And after a couple minutes, my application is submitted and it should be available in App Store Connect. So let's go to the App Store Connect and I'm going to refresh my applications. And this is the beauty of Expo application services. You can get your app up to App Store Connect super quickly. Now it's the first one, as you can see here. And my app should be in test light at this point. So if I click on test light, you notice that the app is processing. It has my icon and everything looks amazing. So let's go to distribution. On the sidebar at the very end, you're going to find subscriptions here. So go ahead and press this button and this is going to take you to the subscriptions page. So in here, what I want to do is just go ahead and create a new subscription. All subscriptions must be part of a group. So let's create a group. I'm going to try to keep my subscription for iOS very similar to my subscription for Android devices. So I'm going to call these Premium Cats and then we can create our subscription. So the reference name, it's the name that will be used on the App Store Connect. So the reference name is going to be Premium Cats and the product ID. I'm going to use the same that I use for Android, which is Cat Monthly. So Cat Monthly makes sense to me. So let's create this. Now we need to set up a couple of things here. We are missing some metadata like subscription duration. It's going to be month. This means that the subscription is going to automatically renew each month. Let's go and set up the availability. It's going to be available everywhere. So let's press done. Subscription price. Let's choose a price. It's going to be $4.99 if I remember correctly. Yes. So let's press next. And here we have the price by country. So I'm just going to press next and confirm the subscription. Press confirm. Now we need to provide a name and description for my subscription. So the display name is going to be Premium Cats and description is going to be Awesome Cats. Let's press add. Now I need to provide an image for my product. Thankfully, I actually created an icon using my CLI tool, Snap AI. So if you want to try Snap AI, you can just say npx Snap AI, and then you can prompt it to generate an icon and pass a description. This is actually going to generate an image that is going to look something like this, and it's going to be 124 by 124. In case you are interested, you can check out this CLI tool. Just by running this command, you can also get more info about the CLI. You can also remove the background and stuff like that. But once we have this, it's actually done, so you can generate them super quickly. And this is the final result, as you can see. So similar to what I had before. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And I'm just going to reutilize this same icon. So let's reveal this in the Finder, and then I can come here and hopefully drag and drop my icon. Awesome. My subscription looks amazing. Look at this. You can also add review information for your application and some notes for the person that is going to review your app subscription. So since I'm not going to be submitting this for review, I'm just going to press save. Okay, let's go back to subscriptions. We also need to set this localization, which is going to be subscription group display name. I'm going to use premium cats, use app name, unlock the cat. Yep, we can use that. Let's create. Awesome. Let's go back to subscriptions. Let's set the grace period, which, could be 3 days, 16 days, depends on your business. I'm going to leave the default 16 days for everything, and let's turn it on. Right now, if you notice, it's for sandbox environments, which is great for testing. Okay, at this point, we are ready to go back to RevenueCat website, and we can add a new application. So let's go to app and providers on the left, and let's add a new application, in this case, iOS. We need to specify the bundle identifier. We can grab this from the app.json. Under iOS, you'll find the bundle identifier. So let's copy this value, paste it in here. It's also asking for an App Store Connect specific shared secret. So it's saying that for StoreKit 2, which is recommended, we're gonna need an in-app purchase key. And if I press this, this is going to give us some information about how to get this key. This is for purchases version 5. So if we look at the package JSON, we are using purchases version 8. Not sure if this is the one that they are talking about here. So let's see how we can generate this in-app purchase key. We need to go to the users and access integrations and in-app purchases on your Apple developer account. So I'm gonna go back here, and at the top, you should find these users and access. Then you can select integrations and then in-app purchase. And here, as you notice, I already have a RevenueCat in-app purchase key that I created for my React Native course. But actually, a good thing is that you can reutilize this same in-app purchase key for all your applications. And they are saying this in here. You can use the same in-app purchase key for all your apps or apps belonging to the same App Store Connect account. So that everyone understands how to do this, let's go ahead and create a new key for RevenueCat. So I'm going to press the plus, and I'm going to say RevenueCat cats video so that I can come back and delete this later. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is just download my in-app purchase key. This can only be done once, by the way. So if you lose your key, you're going to need to create a new one. So let's download this one. It is in my downloads, as you can see here. Now let's go back to RevenueCat. And here we need to drop this file. So let's grab it and put it in here. Okay, it's grabbing the key ID, which is nice. And now we need to pass the issuer ID. The issuer ID is going to be this ID that we have in here. So I can just press this copy button and then go back and paste it in here. Let's save the changes. And the app was created successfully. Let's check the valid credentials. It looks like it's working fine. Now let's try to go back to my product catalog. Products. Now I can see my cats video app store. So in here, I'm going to press the new, and it's We also have the opportunity to import products automatically. Let's go to the app configuration. Let's see what we need to do that. So if you want to import products automatically, you're gonna need to connect this auth key. I think for me, it's a lot of extra work since I already have a subscription, and it's not worth it. It's just one product, so I can just do it manually by using the identifier. So if I go back to my App Store Connect account, I'm going to copy the information of my app, which is cat monthly. That's the identifier. Display name is going to be premium cats. It's a subscription. Let's create this project. Okay, so here I have my premium cats. Store status could not check. That's fine. I think that's because I didn't create the API key. Now I can attach the entitlement, which is daily cats, to this product. Okay, let's try to refresh and see what happens. Okay, now it is associated to my premium cats entitlement. So if I go back to the products, I can now see that I have an entitlement for each product. Awesome. So now let's go back to products and catalog. And now we need to create an offering. The offering is a selection of products that are offered to the customer in the paywall, which is what we have in here, right? So this is my offering, a monthly subscription to unlock the cat. So let's create a new offering. I'll call this one default because it's the only one. And for the name, I'm going to be using premium cats. So I'm going to press add new package, and the identifier is going to be monthly. Description, I'm just going to say default, and the products are going to be my cat monthly and premium cats monthly for iOS. And let's save. Okay, so here we have the offering summary. It's the default premium cats. At this point, I think we should be ready to start integrating the SDK. So we can pass to number 3, which is using the RevenueCat SDK. So we can start importing React Native purchases. Let's see how we can integrate this in our application. So I'm going to go to the entry point of my app, which is my layout, and we need to configure the purchases. So in here, I'm going to copy their example code. They have a use effect that is going to set our API keys. So let's import use effect from React. Okay, so this is how it looks. Now I need to set the API key for iOS and for Android. Back to RevenueCat, you can select API keys on the left and you will see the value for iOS and Android. So I'm going to copy this for Apple and remove this in here, paste this in here, then come back and copy the Google one and paste this in here for Android. All right, so inside this use effect, we can also try to get the customer info. Maybe I can create a function down here. This is going to be an async function that is going to get the customer info and then just put it in the console. And maybe I can call it after this validation and see if we can see something in the console. So now I'm going to rebuild my application and install it on my simulator. I'm going to say npx expo run iOS. So if we take a look at the logs, I can see the customer info that I'm logging here after getting the customer info. We can see that the user does not have any entitlements and other extra information. So apart from the user info, we can get the offerings. Let's create an async function. And I'm going to get the offerings in here. So let's change this to be get offerings. And we can do that by calling purchases, get offerings. And then we have this validation that I copy pasted from the example, which should contain the offerings. So let's see, after getting the customer info, maybe I can call get offerings in here. Let's hit save and let's open the terminal. All right, and if you take a look at the console, we get the offerings. So we have the default monthly subscription. It's monthly, as you can see here. We got now the real price that we're managing through RevenueCat. We also have price per year, very handy information that we can use to display our offering. So let's go ahead and do that where we actually need it. So let's, I'm going to comment this get customer info at the moment. We don't need it. And I'm going to grab my get offerings function, and let's go to my paywall, right? At this point, we know that the user does not have access. And actually, maybe it's good that we are getting this in here. But anyway, so let's go to the unlock the premium cats subscription. And inside this component screen, I can have my function get offerings. Let's import purchases from React Native purchases, and then we can create a use effect to get the offerings when we load the component. So we can store the information of the offerings using useState. Let me update this in here. I'm going to set the offerings. I'm going to add the type to this useState variable or null. And then in our screen, instead of hard coding this subscription plan, let's comment this. So in here, instead of iterating over this hard coded subscription plan, we can iterate over the offerings. So I'm going to ask my AI to iterate over the offerings, passing the data that we are getting. So let's see what it comes up with. Okay, I'm going to accept the changes. And basically what it's doing is just iterating over the current offerings, available packages, and then it's reutilizing my subscription plan, passing the key, title, price, and the period. And the features are hard-coded so far, but if I hit save, now this is actually coming from RevenueCat, which is awesome. Notice that when we are pressing this button, we are calling the handle subscribe, passing the package identifier. This is a function. We're going to transform this to be an async function, and I'm going to delete this console log for the offering since it's very long. And then when we press this button, we can put in the console the plan for now. So let's select it, and you can see that we have the identifier for this monthly plan. Now let's handle the actual subscription. Instead of just passing the identifier, I'm going to pass the package. And the package is going to be of type purchase package, so we can type our function accordingly. Let's import the type. And what I'm going to do is paste this example that I took from the RevenueCats docs. So I'm going to rename this to be package. Okay, and it looks like this is a reserved word. So I'm gonna say PKG. And then we can rename this to be PKG. To test our application, we need to use real devices. So I have connected here my real iPhone device. You can see it on the right, and I already installed the application. We're gonna need to do the same thing for Android. So to create a new development build, you can simply run EAS Build. And I recommend that you use the profile development. This will allow you to connect to the local server so that we can continue to develop the application even if we are using a real device. I'm not going to run this command since I already created my development build and it's already installed on my simulator, but I'm going to leave a link in the description for a video on how to create a development build for Android and iOS. So what I'm going to do now is just open the application, refresh to make sure that everything is working. And if we open the terminal, we get a bunch of logs, and that's fine. So we're iterating over the product. If I navigate to the screen, we can see them, and this is real data. Awesome. Now, when we press this button, I'm going to comment this line for now and just put in the console the package like this, just so that we know what we are getting in this package. So let's select the plan. You can see that this is working. Awesome. We get the package, which contains the product premium cats, the price, what it is a subscription, price per week, and all this data. So let's delete this log, and now I'm going to uncomment this, and we can call purchase package on each item. We are getting the package, so we can just pass the package to this method, and this is going to return the customer info. Let's see if we have something else. It also returns their product identifier and the transaction. So if you need those, you can get them in there. Now, what I'll do here is just put in the console the customer info after we go through the purchase. This will actually let us know if the user has this entitlement active after the payment. And actually, instead of having this validation, I copy this from the docs. I'm just going to put the entire customer info in the logs. And then we can validate that if the entitlement is active. And by the way, I'm not sure if this is going to be premium cats, but let's see if this works. Anyways, we are getting the customer info, and I'm going to put the entire object in there. So in here, we can actually change this console log. We can make it simpler, and maybe we can put the customer info.entitlements.active. Okay, cool. This looks good. Now let's test this on a real device. I'm going to proceed and select the plan. Okay, this is opening the sandbox environment for me to subscribe. So let's press subscribe. I need to enter my password, and I'm going to press confirm. Okay, and it was successful. All right, your purchase was successful. So I'm gonna say okay. Okay, and we get a bunch of data after the successful purchase. And if we take a look at the entitlements, okay, now I can see that I have an active entitlement, which is Premium Cats. So I actually was right. This is the Premium Cats identifier or key for this active. Maybe it's not a good name, I think, for a key, for a property in this object, but it works, right? So here we have all the information that we need, and you can just display it on screen. Then we also have the success, which it's accessing directly the active entitlements. And this is how it looks. My active entitlement, it's Premium Cats, and I have more information about my billing. So you can just fetch this information and show it on the profile of the screen and see, okay, this is your current subscription. Now, what I want to do here is after the success, I'm going to delete this log. And in here, it's a good point to just take the user to the home screen and grant them access. So if I just push back to the main route after I press select, it's going to take me back, okay? So now we need to actually validate if the user has access on the home screen. So let's go to the index screen. And then in here, we can have an async function to get the customer info. Let's import purchases. Then we can generate a use effect to get the info. I'm going to import a use effect from React, and we will get the customer info. We're putting it on the console, and I can just directly access the active entitlements and hit save. So as you notice, I get this info, and maybe we can just have a simple Boolean right here, or just set the entire info of the entitlement into a variable so that we can access it anywhere. But let's just try to keep things simple, and I can validate, for example, instead of having this, that we have the Premium Cats different than undefined, and then we can set the subscribe equal to true. So if I hit save now, I now have access to my cat because I have the subscription. Even if I shake my device and reload, it's going to validate that I have the subscription, and it's going to let me access these majestic cats. To test this on Android, I have connected here my Android device and created a new build that should contain the latest and greatest and all the configuration needed for our application. I created a production build on EAS, and then I invited myself to be a tester of my own application so that we can download the application from the store. So if we go back and accept the invite, then I can download directly from Google Play, and we can install it from here. Okay, then I can open it. And this is a production build, which is a standalone application. It's great for testing. We don't need to have the local server running at this point. I don't have a subscription, as you can see there. So let's unlock it. All right, let's start the plan. And I can see that everything is working fine. Of course, this is not going to charge me. I'm going to just subscribe directly and see what happens. Okay, after a moment, the subscription is successful. Okay, I'm just going to save this. After a moment, it is successful and it's taking me back to the screen, and now I'm able to see cats. So how cool is that, guys? And that's it for this video, guys. I know it is a bit long and we have to do a bunch of configuration to be able to connect Apple and Google to RevenueCat and then fetch the items. But keep that in mind that you have to do that only once. And even you can reutilize some of your keys for multiple applications. So if you already did that in another application, you can reutilize some of your APIs. Don't forget to check out the description for more resources. Don't forget to subscribe, give it a like, leave me a comment down here, and I'll see you in the next one.